welcome to this week's Waste Not Wednesday, where we take junk that we randomly find on the side of the road, in our garage, out picking, and we turn it into home decor that we either put in our house or we sell at our shop at JamiRayVintageHome.com or at the retail store here in Lehi. So what do we got? What did I find today?
So we have more CNC cutouts. Last week, some people, we did a similar project with the reverse of these, but some people were concerned that, hey, I don't have a CNC machine, I don't have shop scraps. You could easily cut these out with a jigsaw and make your own designs.
Well, and we are excited because we sell on our website cement molds. Every week when we put those cement molds up, they sell out. We have 20 new ones that will be up tomorrow for tomorrow's stay-at-home shopping network. But when I went to the garage this morning, I saw Zeb's pile of scraps and I was like,
I've thrown hundreds of these away.
It's like, you know what?
I'm just like,
I see decor molds that we can wind up putting on the wall and selling, and something eventually we can sell on our website for people to DIY themselves. So these are the scrap ends of our corbels, our awesome cutouts. So we're going to show you how to finish them, how we made them, and then tomorrow they'll be at our stay-at-home shopping network for sale, and then maybe eventually in a mass-produced way. And I love this because this takes scraps that would be going into landfill and turns them into a product that we can sell, which makes us more profitable, but also turns it into something fun that other people can do as well.
well, and anytime we can eliminate waste in the landfill, we're super happy about it.
And Donna from Crescent Moon Cottage says I'm wearing her sweater. She ordered the same sweater. And it's coming to her. At JamiRayVintageHome.com we also sell clothes. So yeah, this is the new Russ sweater, which reminds me, I need to pull this out. Actually, Odelia loves this sweater and she was wearing it today and I was like, can I borrow that?
So we have a few designs. There's actually a lot of different things. Like I have a unicorn and a rabbit that we cut out and all kinds of fun stuff. And we thought it would be fun to do the relief of them instead of, or the negative instead of the positive. So we're going to be making these look crusty. We've got all kinds of stuff, and when I say crusty, like the old patina, like vintage looking, like we don't want them to look like brand new MDF right off of the factory floor over at the hardware store.
We just want them to look like old molds, which essentially are the molds that we use.
You know what, I'm
going
to go grab one and show you. If you haven't seen our home shopping, we're kind of going to show you what we're going
So that
for.
way you get the idea of like what the end result would be. Do we have one here handy?
Yeah, I've got one in the hall. So
Okay, we have one. This one's already sold, so don't try to buy it. It's for our local pickups. That's going to show you what we're trying to replicate. Because if you guys haven't watched that video, then you're like, what the heck are they even talking about right now? Caroline, Catriona said she thought it was something for holding saws. And Crescent Moon says restoration hardware formula. All right, so this is what we're trying to kind of emulate. This is a cement mold. And we are essentially making corbel molds with our leftover corbel scraps.
So these are antique, and we get these imported, and they come with little hanging hardware because they're not really intended to be used anymore, but they used to be cement molds and in use. So this is kind of the look we're going for. We're going to try to make this wood look old like this wood.
Yeah. I mean, it won't be exactly the same, but it's going to be pretty cool.
All right, let's get into it.
I'm going to get off my Rush sweater here because I don't want to get anything on it. Harrington is walking for graduation today, so if you notice, you know, poofy hair and makeup all over the place, it's because when I get stressed, I wear a lot of makeup. All right, do you have one that's already assembled so I can start working on that?
I do. I have two that are already assembled.
Lolly says ours will be antique someday. Right. See? There's thinking, Lolly. Buy now and they'll be worth way more later.
100 years from now.
And then maybe we'll even burn them with the JRB bird. Do you want to do that first?
Oh, I can do that after.
Okay. All right. So we have, Zeb actually has a brand that has a bird on it that we put on all of our handmade stuff that he made himself with a nail. So we'll use that. I'm thinking let's use, on this one because it's wood, let's use our hemp oil mixture and let's talk to him a little bit about that.
Okay. So this is hemp oil. It's food safe. It's what we use on the cutting boards.
Starts out like this.
It looks like this. It dries clear. And we do, what is this, lantern?
So yeah, so I put in like a little bit of the lantern in Sweet Pickens, milk paint with the hemp oil, and I mix that together. So essentially it's a food safe stain all in one. So instead of painting it with a watered down lantern and then putting hemp oil, we mix it up and then we just put it in this jar, we shake it, really good before we use it. And then this is what we use on all of our cutting boards and our charcuterie boards that we sell on the website. And it's a great way to just have all mixed up one at a time. You can get it ready. And we actually buy it by the gallon, which is why there's so much in here. All right.
You're gonna need these.
You're gonna be stapling?
Don't brush your lashes on them.
Okay.
I am going to be stapling. I'm going to show you guys how I'm putting these together. And then for one of these, I made some trim. This is off of the eaves of the farmhouse. I had to cut some off so the addition could fit there. And so this is just soffit trim.
And somebody asked, could we actually use these to make plaster corbels? I think we could.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You would probably need to make sure that they've got a mold release or something going on, but
yeah, you could totally take mold release. I mean, these are essentially what those cement molds are, just kind of made in the reverse. So I would just make sure that you've got a release on there. And some of these are MDF because some of our corbels are MDF and some of them are wood. It just depends on which corbel it is.
yeah.
Oh, Chris says she's finally awake early enough to catch us. Chris, you're in Arizona. We go live at 9 your time. Are you enjoying yourself some quarantine sleeping in? Because I also enjoy myself that some days. Not right now because we're working around the clock getting the farmhouse done. But before that, I feel like I was enjoying some sleeping in. So can you mix gray with that hemp oil? Yes. You can mix any color of Sweet Pickens milk paint or farmhouse finishes with the hemp oil to create a food safe stain. And it doesn't have to just be used on food safe products. Like you can see how it's already, look how it's already transforming that. It's a really inexpensive way to do it because you don't have to use much of the milk paint at all.
And the hemp oil,
like a sample, I didn't even use a sample's worth to do all of this. And the hemp oil, a little bit goes a long way. It's very thin.
And it's like it's like a sealer too. It's a wood conditioner, wood sealer. So once you've got it on there, a couple coats, you know, you're good to go. That could be your end product. It's kind of like wax. It's the last thing you put on.
Oh, Cindy bought a dresser from the Plant Bar, the Moody Blue one. That's awesome. Yeah, Plant Bar. We're moving out of the Plant Bar right now. And so if you're in Arizona, you can contact Plant Bar AZ, and we are selling the products there at a discount. You can also just contact them if you want to buy any stuff, because even though they're not open to the public, David and Crystal are still doing curbside pickup in Arizona for all of their succulents and their awesome plants that they sell. So definitely support them. And if you're in Arizona and you want any of our products at a discount, anything that's left in stock has been marked down, and all of our furniture, including the farm table in the shop, has been marked down 50%. So hit up the Plant Bar for sure. They're not open to the public, I don't believe, so you have to call ahead and do curbside, but
so don't do like me and glue it on backwards.
Yeah. These would make a great headboard joined together. Yeah, as we wind up doing bigger cutouts for sure. No, Plant Bar is not closing. We're just pulling out of there. And they are not open to the public. I don't know when that will happen.
All right, this might be a little loud. I'm going to staple this on so that so the staple does two things. It helps the glue adhere really nice, and it also is a little more structural. It's a mechanical fastener. So we could technically probably just glue these, but I don't know. People might actually end up trying to use these, so I want them to be on there real nice.
Chris used the appropriate word. Plant Bar is reorganizing, not closing. Absolutely. And we are just crazy busy to have an out-of-state location. So we decided to pull out of there because they're changing things up. It'll give them a little bit more freedom and allow us to not be spreading ourselves too thin. So, and maybe in the future, we'll do more business collaborations with them as they grow and do all the awesome things that Plant Bar does. And in case you don't know, David at Plant Bar is my nephew, and Crystal, his wife, is my niece-in-law. It sounds weird that my nephew is older than me, but it's true.
All right, hang on. Just hold tight, and I'll staple this real fast.
Okay.
And you can tell them all the things.
Yeah, I was gonna tell him a funny story about my nephew.
Well, let's wait for half a second.
Oh, Chris, not Cindy, bought the mini processor. Sorry. I'm a little bit. You guys, my oldest boy is walking from high school graduation today, and my brain is all over the place. We put out the big congratulations banner on Main Street at our store. The life-size replica of my son is out there. So if I see him all over the place, it's because I'm trying not to cry.
I feel normal.
So that feels normal because he doesn't care. My son also doesn't care. Like, he walks at 12 and starts a new job at 2. I was like, well, thanks for giving me time to celebrate.
Yeah.
But he's like his mama, always working. Anyway, so here's a funny story about David. David is he 41 now? Yeah, he's 41. I will be 38 in September. So he's about 3.5 years older than me. And when I was a little girl, he spent a lot of time at my mom's house because my mom watched him while my sister worked. So he had his own room. And my mom, I'm a late life baby, so my mom had me at 43 years old. And after I was born and I came home from the hospital, they put me in the room in my nursery, which had been his room. And he walked in there and he puts his hand on his hip and he looks at my mom and says, "What's that baby doing in my room?" So that was like my earliest interaction with David.
You know, they still interact like brother and sister.
We do act like brother and sister because in my early years, because my sister worked all the time, David was with us a lot. He actually recovered from knee surgery as a teenager at our house, and he is probably the closest thing I will ever have to a brother because, like, I have brother-in-laws, but like a brother that I actually lived with. Same thing, I have a niece, Desiree. We actually shared a room for a year because her parents were moving up to where we lived, and Desiree and I shared a room. So I have I have a niece and a nephew who we have kind of a sibling relationship, not just like an aunt and, definitely not an aunt and niece and nephew relationship.
You know what's funny is she's got 3 nephews that are older than I am, and they all get a kick out of calling me Uncle Zeb.
Well, and I think it's also because you look a little older than me. Not much. Not much, but they do call me Aunt Jami now. But just for fun, just for funsies. We spent many holidays together, and I had a fun childhood. I didn't necessarily grow up with siblings, but I feel like I didn't also have the only child life because I did spend holidays and go on trips and vacations.
All right, I'm nailing again.
That's the story.
Story time. Story time break.
Carol says it's so great that he can walk today because seniors here in Texas are not walking and trying to find ways. So what they're doing at our high school is 5 seniors at a time, and we have a big senior class. We're at 5A high school. They go in, they social distance, they get to bring 2 parents, so we stay under the 20 people guideline for the state, and they're recording it, and it's taking 2 or 3 days to get all the seniors to walk, and then on the 28th, they will stream the graduation, and then they will put in the footage of everybody walking, and they'll have the valedictorian talks and all those things, but right now they're doing filming the walk.
I was wondering how they were going to do the valedictorian speeches, because, you know, like, those kids work so hard to get that, especially in these bigger schools. There's a lot of competition for it, and then now they're not even, like, going to be able to give their
Well, and the cities
speech.
come out. They came, everybody has a yard sign if you have a senior. We have a giant congratulations senior sign out front, and then my son, because he plays football, has a larger than life-size poster. It's like a banner
it's
that
like
they
him
made.
in his uniform.
Yeah, whenever they had home games, or actually all games, on game day they put the seniors out on the fence for football. So he's out there too, larger than life. A lot of people bought the whatever likeness of their kids to put outside. I was like, dude, I'm not going to do that. We already got one made from football. We're going to reuse that thing. All right, so I'm just wiping this back. And you could just let it sit even longer. And if you wanted more of a finish on this, you could put the hemp oil over the top. You could use clear wax, whatever. You wouldn't want to use a liquid sealer like Big Top over the top of this because this is oil. Or you can just leave it as is, and I'm going to leave it as is because the finish is already there.
The hemp oil and the wax have similar properties. The wax is not food safe, but they play nice together. So like if you put the hemp oil on and then you want to like buff it to like a really high sheen with wax or whatever, you could also wax it once the hemp oil is cured a little.
So congratulations. Yeah, last night, so I wanted to buy a candy money lei, and by the time I remembered it, it was 6 p.m., so everywhere was closed. And we just happened to get a shrink wrap machine because we have our new candle line at Jami Raven today. And we shrink wrap all the candles because they're doughbowl. Oh, that fell
Lose
in.
that brush.
That's okay. We shrink wrap all the dough bowls. So what I did is I made my own tubing out of the shrink wrap machine, and me and the girls were here late last night, and we went to the dollar store and bought candy and some purple silk flowers, and we made him a candy money lei. without watching a tutorial, by the way. And then we shrink wrapped
What?
it.
You
And we
just
were
did
able
it?
to put, because we did it ourselves, I put his favorite candy. He loves peach rings. So we were able to kind of customize that. So it was kind of fun. Maybe someday I'll do a tutorial, how to make a candy lei. And Jack, we're gonna have a fake kindergarten graduation for Jack this week, and I made him a lei with gumballs and little plastic dinosaurs. I also ordered him a cap and gown from the Amazon, because for $15 it was totally worth it for Jack. So for Friday, we'll sell it to Jack. If I can buy it on Amazon, I'm a good mom. If it doesn't come on Amazon, you may never get it. Or if it doesn't come online. Like, if I can order it from my website or any kind of website, we'll get it. As I said, peach rings, exactly. Harrington will eat pounds and pounds of peach rings.
It's kind of gross.
And now, right now, he's putting on weight because he's going to be like a heavyweight wrestler at the university he's going to. So he's eating everything in sight. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the back on this too.
So I just used that old soffit trim on this mold, and it gave it kind of some fun character. And you could even do like router trim, and you could really dress these up if you're DIYing your own.
Caitlin, if you want to come use the shrink wrap machine, I have extra supplies. We can make some leis for your boys. Come over here and do that. I'll bring that by, because I have more dinosaurs. And you're welcome to borrow our cap and gown too.
Yeah, purple.
No, the cap and gown's black.
Oh, it's black, okay.
Yeah. It was more expensive. It was like an extra $5 for purple, and I was like, black will do. Because Jack goes to Lehi Elementary, so his colors are purple too, just like the high school.
All right.
Lehi Elementary is the oldest elementary school still standing in Lehi. Did you find a few spots inside? Did you miss? I don't know. I'll look.
We'll get them.
It's hard to talk and read comments and.
So are you just you're just doing that finish on that one?
Yeah, and I might go ahead and do some something over the top of this, like maybe some dark wax or whatever, to give it some variation in tone.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do. So I was thinking I'll do like some weathered wood inside, because those old molds are dark
darker.
because they use like an oil, or like my dad said they used kerosene a lot of times, or like diesel to use as a mold release.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have an extra brush over here, so you have to grab one. I have detail brushes for waxing and stuff.
He said they use diesel because it doesn't evaporate, but it's thin, so.
Caitlin says you might as well use the gown more than one. Absolutely. And when we're done with it, we'll pass it on to somebody else.
All right, so I'm gonna weathered wood down inside. We have
Michelle, my store is open today. If you're local, you can come. We're open from 11 to 6, Wednesday through Friday, Saturday 10 to 4. We do have rules. We're not taking cash, no children under 12. Maintain a 6-foot distance and try not to touch anything unless you're buying it. And don't lick people, which that is on the sign. And we are wearing masks. We do not require other people to, because I know that for some people it's very difficult. But if you do have a mask, we do appreciate you wearing it when you come in. So that's what we have going on. So regular business hours. And if you ever come to the shop and you want something that's on the website and we don't have it out, because we try to put them all out, but we can't stay on top of it because we're so crazy on the website. You can always ask whoever's working, like, hey, I saw this on the website. Do you guys have some? And all they have to do, they'll go on our phone and they'll check inventory and make sure it's not pre-sold to ship out. And we have our warehouse in the basement for the home decor website, and they can pull it out for you to see. I've been slowly but surely getting more products out. All right, so here we go. I don't think I actually, oh yeah, I did miss spots. Like, some of the spots are a little bit weird because it's where glue is, so it's not taking, but you're right, I missed spots. It was on the side that I couldn't see.
So if you're curious, this one I have is the Melanie Corbel. It's the negative for that one.
And which one? This is also part of the Melanie Corbel.
Yep, that's just another one. So I have centerpieces, and I never save them. I always threw them out.
In the future, we'll save
them. In the
them.
future, I'll save them so that the cutout can, because they were small, and these ones got set aside because once a month or twice, every 2 months, I'll take a run and just dump them.
I bet these won't be as heavy. No, they're not as heavy as the original ones to ship, because that's hardwood.
Yeah.
Would you pass me the dark wax, not the decrepit dust, the dark wax, and then a little like wax brush there.
There you go.
Okay, my daughter bought me a JRV gift card for Mother's Day. I want to
Fine.
redeem it. So if it's for JamiRayVintage.com, it depends on which website. They're only useful on the websites if that's where they bought them. And you just use it when you check out. If they bought it for in-store, then it can only be used in-store. So if it's If it's like an email, then you know it's for a website and it'll tell you which one. If it's a hard gift card that says Jami Ray Vintage, that's for the store.
Yeah, and you can just put the code in. There's a spot for it.
They love your Lehi hat, and they said that you should make an ombre one. So I'm just coming back.
An ombre paint Lehi hat.
So I'm coming in with this. I think this is dark wax. Looks brown. Can I take my glasses off?
Yeah, I'm not stapling.
Okay.
We can take them off now.
This is dark.
I'm so used to wearing them all day. I wear them and I'll be like out shopping at the Home Depot and still have my safety glasses on.
So all I'm doing is just darkening up the inside of this mold because it would be darker from wear, and getting this down in the nooks and crannies. I like to use our JRB stencil brushes to do this because sometimes it's hard to do detail waxing with those big fatty brushes. And I learned this trick from Josie. She is from Paint Pixie, and she's the one who manufactures our brushes.
So you're doing dark wax.
Farmhouse update. Anna wants a farmhouse update.
Farmhouse update. So the second story lumber is getting delivered today, and we'll be able to get the flooring and the walls and everything up. And then I gotta do the roof lumber after that, which is like the soffit and things, and the trusses are ordered. They're 4 weeks out still on the trusses, which is actually bumping us up in line. 1st of April, they were 10 weeks out, and I called him yesterday. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need these soon. Where are we at on the list? And he's like, I can get them done in 4 weeks. That's the fastest I can do it.
And I don't think we're gonna be ready before then anyways. We have a ton to do in the old part of the house. I contacted a roof company, so we're doing a standing seam roof.
Yeah, I was looking into doing the standing seam, and it's like a high skill task.
Well, and we hired out the foundation. I feel like the top and the bottom, right? So we hired out the foundation, and we're hiring out the roof, and we're essentially doing what's in between, and then hiring out odd jobs as we need it. So like we've hired an electrician to finish up some of the things that didn't get to, button that up. We have an HVAC guy that's buttoning up because we have 2 units. And one needed to be put in the crawl space of the addition, and so they're buttoning that up. So as we need it and we can afford it, we're hiring stuff out too.
So I'm gonna do a different color up on the top. I think that'll maybe like a lighter, I'm trying to think like prairie gray or something like that.
So these will be priced similarly to the cement molds. They're probably somewhere in so the cement molds start at $60 and go up. In fact, the next batch will be more expensive because they're bigger size. These will probably start at around $45 because they do require quite a bit of detail work.
They're about the same size.
And these are the same size as the $60 ones. So these will start at $45.
But they'll be less because they're not actually old.
Yeah, that's why I said they'd start at $45.
Oh, okay.
They're not actually old. But they'll look old by the time I'm done. So I'm just going through and shading with this dark wax. Wendy says, sorry, I'm kind of anal about the spots. Just so you guys know, when we're not live, I go over and touch up almost every item you see me work on. I go back and like fix things because it's impossible to get perfection where you're live. I mean, it is possible, but then I have to ignore you guys and not talk to you, and talking to you guys is my favorite thing.
All right, I gotta go grab another brush. We've used all the brushes we had.
Sorry, I washed them. I need one for a white wax too because I want to add a little bit of that. I just have to say I'm so impressed with the work we're doing ourselves. Thank you. You know what? Sometimes it's easier to do the work ourselves. We love contractors, but the real estate market is so insane here in Utah. All of our contractors are so busy, so getting them to come in, honestly, the only reason we're not finished is because when we've had contractors, there's been delays. It's true. So that's why we do a lot ourselves, anything we can do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and darken up this edge here. Like I already did the bottom, so I'll probably leave that the same. Sometimes when I wanna make a frame of something look darker, like even if I painted it, I come back with dark wax, or if I wanna make it look lighter, I'll do like white wax, and that kind of highlights my piece. And I do it on this, I do it on signs. Okay, let's see. Caitlin's answering questions. She's awesome. Caitlin actually handles our customer care at JamiRayVintage.com and JamiRayVintageHome.com. So she is bomb. She's way better than me. She's more focused on it because I'm doing a million other things. That's the thing about being a business owner. You start stuff and then you have to learn how to pass it off to make sure that everything gets taken care of, especially your customers. That is how business grows. Okay. All right, did you find?
I got some brushes that I was able to wash. I'm gonna do sandy blonde on the top of here. I think it'll be a good mix with the weathered wood.
All right, I'm almost finished with this one. I'm just going around the edge with a stark wax. Do you like how this is turning out?
Yeah, it looks good. And then we can, like, once I get done with the sandy blonde, I'm thinking I'll come back over this with the hemp oil.
Oh, okay.
Give it like some.
Oh, like with this hemp oil?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll look cool. It's funny because again this week we were gonna do our Waste Not Wednesday, and I literally like went in the garage and looked at what
I had
we
a separate plan. I had planned it out, and Jamie's like, I want to do this.
Well, and I thought that I didn't like your plan, but it was something we had done before, and so I said we can do yours, but here's my idea. And
It
so I
was
totally jumped on this.
different. We'd done it kind of before, but it was a totally different twist.
But you did. I didn't force you to do this one. You were like, oh yeah, let's use those scraps. Don't be throwing me under the bus. And this kind of corresponds with last week's pediment one, which we are going to be making more pediments, and we will wind up selling some that we carry on the website. So we've asked, people have asked us for blanks, and we will come up with those. All right, so I think this one is done. This is the first one, and I'll work on another one. Do you have another one for me to do? And we'll wind up putting hanging hardware on the back, or including it in a baggie, so that way if somebody wants to add it, they can.
Do you want to use this one?
Sure, that's a big one.
This is like a medium size. You wanted me to cut it off, but I thought it looked cool all together.
So right now with shipping from JamiRayVintage.com, it depends on what you're ordering. Standard shipping is with 10 business days it ships. Right now, some of our suppliers, because of COVID, are taking longer. And actually right now it's just DIY paint. And we do have a huge stock, but there's just a few things we're out of. So if you do have DIY paint in your order and it's going to be delayed, Caitlin will comment, like email you. And if you don't get an email, then I would expect that your items would ship within standard shipping time, because we are shipping around the clock. So the only time things are getting delayed right now is, like I said, if the manufacturer is having delays. So like IOD and the stencils and the milk paint and most of the DIY products, we're not really experiencing delays because we carry so many. But when they go 2-3 weeks behind on our orders, then there are a few things that we wind up running out of. And Caitlin's really good at staying on top of that. Can I have the weathered wood and the brush you used for that? This is the brush if you want to use
for the oil.
Yeah. Oh, you use this little one?
Yeah, because I did the inside.
Oh, okay. I'm using weathered wood on this part because it's, this is MDF, so stain wouldn't take as well. No discount. If you're buying anything from Plant Bar AZ, that's completely separate, so no gift cards or discount codes can be used there. All right. Elisa says these are so neat, and A. Lazari says, hi Jamie and Zeb, good morning and afternoon. I missed most of the live. We'll watch the replay. God bless one and all.
Oh, we still got 30 minutes.
Yeah. So watch. Beth wants to know what we're doing. We're making corbel molds because we have our cement molds that we sell that are so popular. So we're taking the scrap ends of our corbels, then put a backer out of plywood. Is this the leftover?
This is scrap leftover from making the trays that we make for the website.
Oh, okay. So this is just scrap plywood. We have quite a bit of scrap wood between what we build for the website and also what we're doing at the farmhouse. And so we save all of that and we use it as often as possible. It's green and it's also cost efficient. We try not to throw stuff out. Inevitably, sometimes you do have to throw things out, but we try to reuse as much as we can. And since we have this Waste Not Wednesday, it gives us the opportunity every week to reuse all this stuff.
It's like a craft challenge every Wednesday. It's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do out of junk that would have gone to the trash that's new?
So Faye's looking for JRV stencils. If you go to jrvwholesale.com, that's where you find out how to be a stencil retailer, and that's also where our retailer map is. If you have issues using that retailer map, you can also email Mariah. Her email is on there. She's our retail director, and she can help you find a retailer close to you. If you don't have a stencil retailer by you, go to whoever you love to buy paint and DIY products from and say, hey, like I would love for you to be a stencil retailer because there's not one close, and then give them the website, and then maybe they will sign up to wholesale them. And we are going to be expanding our wholesale line here very shortly to include handmade products. So anybody who's a stencil retailer will then be able to carry candlesticks, corbels, and cutouts. That's a little premature to be announcing, but it is happening. Hopefully by
We
the end
had a
of summer.
meeting last night with some people that might be, well, the plan is to do it. They've got to tie up a few things.
So
where
even if they're a little delayed in moving up here, we will go ahead and get the ball rolling. So definitely, if you are a JRV stencil retailer, look for that. And if you're not, you might want to consider getting ahead of the game, because you, as a retailer, you get like 5-mile radius. So you would block that up for not only the stencils, but any other wholesale item that we carry. So that's exciting.
Is it 5? I thought it was like 15.
Julia's Junk says, I'm so glad that I jumped on the stencils. Yeah, that's why the website for our wholesalers for stencils is labeled JRV Wholesale, because our intent has always been to wholesale more than just stencils.
And we're going to do like small items and kits and stuff too. It'll
Yeah,
be fun.
we're ordering a laser cutter, so we will be cutting smalls that you guys can use for classes or sell for kits, so it's going to be good.
So I got a little messy. I'm going to go get a damp rag and clean that up just a little bit. It's supposed to look like an old mold, and I think when I go over it with the hemp oil stain and some waxes, I think it'll look all right. So I wasn't really worried about painting it neat.
Well, you could also, on this part, because it's wood, once it's dry, I would actually take sandpaper and sand it smooth so it kind of just goes down into the grain.
Yeah.
That would give it a good effect. How much did it cost us to do this wall behind us, Seb? Somebody was asking.
That wall, that's about $200 in
MDF shiplap.
And yeah, it's the MDF shiplap, which is so easy to use because every piece is exactly the same.
And a little trade secret, we never painted it. It comes primed. Someday we'll paint it. It's actually quite dirty. I don't get what those first 2 molds are. So these are just molds that they're actually the cutouts from the corbels. So let me show, if you're just tuning in. This is what they look like. And what they're made is for decor to hang on the wall, or you could actually probably prime them the way you do the cement molds, and you could probably make plaster like corbels out of them. But that's what they are.
So this is the actual corbel that these make. Well, not these ones specifically, it's a different one. Oh, here we go. This one. This cutout, negative, makes this corbel.
Yeah.
So we make this and cut it out, and then this is the waste or the negative that's left, and now we're trying to find new uses for it.
You know us, we're always trying to find. And I just think industrial, like this really is, industrial chic is really popular, and this really is industrial scraps. These are industrial scraps that we have from making our corbels. So that's fun. Hey Jami, Caleb, how did you mix the hemp oil in the lantern? So I just poured the hemp oil in that jar. It's a jar that we thrifted. You know me, I'm always reusing old stuff. And then I poured the hemp oil in it, and then I just shook it and really good until the hemp oil dissolved completely. And then I just shake it before I use.
Yep, we remix it as we're using it.
If you really were concerned about mixing, you could also put one of those blender balls from your protein shake containers and put that in there to mix it up. But I just shook it. Because there's so little paint to hemp oil ratio, like it's literally probably like 10 or 20 to 1. I don't know, I don't pay attention. It's not hard for it to dissolve. And I always put the hemp oil in first, so that way the powder kind of sits on top of it and doesn't like get around the bottoms. And then I just shake it really good. That's it. You could use an immersion blender, I guess, but I don't really think that you need to. All right.
What I should have done is paint the top and then painted the bottom. The bottom is easier to control the brush. That's all right.
Well, I'm just painting the top and I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna come back in with hemp oil.
I actually like it. It looks like it's got some mold release or something, like it's actually been used for that.
Yeah. I'm just painting this top part because it's MDF, so I'm not using stain.
Okay, I'm going to heat gun. Can you, is that
If you
right
wanted
there?
to get real crazy and you cut MDF, you could take our barnwood stamp and you could actually stamp it.
Yeah.
And give it like faux wood grain.
And if you leave your DIY paint thick, you can get pretty good texture out of those barn stamps too, those barnwood stamps.
Maybe on a future video when we have more time we'll do that. I could actually do it now with white ink, huh?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, I'll try it out. That's how creativity works. You start doing one thing and then you get down a rabbit hole and you try 8,000 other things. I'm really excited. I came up with a new technique to use our stencils last week and salt wash.
We're going to do a whole video.
We're going to do a whole video on it. One of my pediments had a very special treatment that I'd never done before. I always suggest if you're in a slump, just start painting and trying things, because that's where creativity happens. I think sometimes people are afraid to try new things, but if you never try new things, you don't know what's going to happen. Okay, I'll paint the sides later. Can you dry this? I'm going to go grab the white ink and the barn with plank stamp.
Yep, I'll get that dried for you.
Switch this inside.
Disclaimer, you don't have to use the heat gun. We're just trying to speed it along so we can finish this during the live video.
Ironically, this is the same ink set that I used at Plant Bar when I did their Plant Bar and their front desk. Like going down memory lane. Oops, let me. Can you keep it for a while without spoiling? Yes. So, you could refrigerate it, I guess, but in this application, does it smell?
No, it smells like the hemp oil. The hemp oil has a distinct smell until it cures.
Like keeps it from going bad, but in this application, I made that up 2 weeks ago, and we keep it in a jar in our studio, unrefrigerated, and have had 0 issues. Now this is new, so I don't know, like over time. So you might want to just
and the ratio is so small. The ratio of the lantern paint to hemp oil we're basically using it just like a little bit of a pigment.
Yeah, so maybe mix up a small amount. I'll let you guys know in a month if it's still good, but we use so much of it because we use it for our cutting boards that in a few weeks that'll all be gone. And I like storing it in a glass jar because I feel like it keeps better, and those you can pick up at thrift stores for $1 or $2 for the big ones. So really inexpensive there. Yeah, just remember when you're heat gunning to keep it moving. That'll keep it from cracking too much or bubbling your paint. And if there's latex underneath this paint, it bubbles like so fast because it's plastic.
I think you got some hemp oil on it there.
Yeah, that's hemp oil. That's okay. It'll all have hemp oil. All right. Let's see if there's any. Did Zeb find his glasses? No.
I did find my glasses. They were on top of the fridge at the farmhouse.
Oh, they did. Somebody suggested that they were in the window seals here, so I did look. All right. So this is the barn plank stamp. And the way I store it is in a big Ziploc bag, and I keep the backer on all the pieces, and it has wood grain. So I'm going to attempt to just use it to add some wood grain to this MDF because it doesn't have wood grain because it's not, this top part is not real wood, the bottom is.
I'm gonna make a little noise. I'm just gonna smooth this sandy blonde out so that when I hemp oil it, it picks up the wood grain.
Okay, I haven't used this in a while. I hope this one isn't dry. So this is just white ink. You could also use paint, but I'm going to use ink because it's faster. I can just ink this all up. Probably better to do on a flat surface, but I'm running out of flat surface here.
Yeah, I can scooch a little.
Oh, thank you. I might need to re-ink this. This ink pad has not been used in probably 4 months. That's the nice thing about the IOD ink pads is if they dry out, you just add more ink. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. Try not to shift it, because then it will make it look blurry and that makes it look less real.
I'll show you guys close up here in a minute when she's done.
I have no idea what it's going to look like, so.
It'll look awesome.
Oh, that's cool. All right, I like it. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. It's going to be a little difficult to do. I'll wait till you're done.
I'll just stop sanding when you're ready to put it on.
Yeah, there's a few different options. I think I'm just going to use the same one. Getting a little vigorous there. I'm going to use the same blank one to do, but I'll add some knot holes.
Alright. I'm going to knock out this dust.
Are you done shaking the table?
I'm done shaking it for now. How's that?
Okay. And then you're not done. Crafting with a partner can be dangerous, just so you know. But also very fun. Okay. That was working. Great. So you could do the reverse of this. You could paint it light and then stamp it dark. Or you could have just stamped underneath it, like with paint, and then put a color over the top. That's also an option. And it comes with a bunch of different, like, fake wood planks, but again, I'm just going to use the same one over and over again and then just add knots. Because it's so broken up that I don't think it's going to matter. I will probably take it a few different directions so it doesn't have too much repetition.
So this is really reminiscent of like the dark oil wax. The dark oil wax is a little bit darker. It's also a Sweet Pickins product, and I feel like it's not food safe, but it darkens up a little more, and I feel like the oil wax like will actually harden up, and you can buff that to a higher sheen if you wanted to still use like a oil wax or hemp oil type product.
Laura asked a good question. For our dough bowl number 1, I have a picture that has lots of dough bowls. I actually have access to all of those handmade dough bowls. So if there's one pictured in that picture in the listing, email Caitlin which one you're interested in, and I can get you measurements and pricing, and I will put it. Those are not actually handmade by us. We order them in, but they are handmade, and I can order whatever you want. I don't carry all of them because I need a warehouse like 400 times larger than what we have, but I can order them in. So if you want them, I will totally get them for you. I'm gonna flip this around. And, okay, you're.
Just tell me when you're ready for a pause.
Stamping. And pause. I'm just matching up this knot that's right here. All right, we're just gonna be doing a lot of, just try to do it with less excitement.
All right, less vigor.
Less vigor, yes, that's the word. Jen says, I've only used that plain stamp once, but it was fun and the piece sold immediately. Oh, you know what's funny? I feel like I go in phases.
Like I don't think we've used that probably.
It's like finding a lost friend. You know what I mean? Like, so you'll probably see me do about 450 projects with this now because I've rediscovered it. When you have all the craft supplies, because I have to so I can use them, you wind up sometimes not using things as much as you should. Oops, I'll put a knot right there because that's kind of weird. Tom Fisher says, I have a few minutes. Oh, Tom, you'll like this one. We're recreating kind of like the cement molds that you love. You could probably do this with your bandsaw or jigsaw, or if you have a CNC machine. These are just our corbel leftovers that we're making faux molds. Hey, Jay, are you done out there?
Yeah, I'm just missing one sticker.
Okay, that's fine. Just write down which one you're missing. Did you fix the displays? Okay. Ask Jean if there's anything she needs you to do, and if there isn't, then I might have you start tagging those clothes.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry. We open at 11 and my daughter is here working, so. Family business. All right, let's flip this around and I'll show you guys. So here's what it looks like thus far. See how we're putting that wood grain on there? Isn't that fun? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and.
I'm gonna wipe this back because with the paint on there, it's kind of just sitting on the top. It's not soaking down into the wood. And I already have a rag, so I'm gonna go grab that.
Lisa says, I love that stamp. So this stamp and the IOD ink and all the products we're using, I haven't mentioned it yet, but these are carried on our DIY product website, and that's jamirayvintage.com. So you can pick them all up there. We carry a ton of boutique products all in one place. So we carry the IOD, we carry the DIY, the hemp oil, the milk paint, our stencils, all the things for creating. And then the home decor website has the clothes and the pre-made stuff. So we kind of separate it out. We have 2 teams that handle the volume. I'm just using this over and over again. I'm getting tired of re-inking it.
It looks like it's turning out though.
Yeah, it actually looks really cool. So I'm going to show you guys again. So now I've added fake wood grain. Yeah, I am. I'm going to go ahead and oil wax it. Then I'll probably do some dark wax to darken up the insides. And then I'll do white wax so that way it kind of mimics. This wood grain will mimic in the actual wood grain, I think, if I do that. So can I have the hemp oil?
Yep.
How do you clean the ink off of the stamps? I just use soap and water, so mild soap and water and a scrub brush. These stamps are like, I don't want to say indestructible, but I have never broken one. That says a lot for something if I don't break it because I'm not gentle.
We are super hard on our craft supplies and we use them a lot.
Yes, and Crescent Moon Cottage says, and the clothes are free shipping. Yep, the clothes are free shipping, and if you buy any of our bath products, they all ship for $5.95. Now I have a little pro tip for you. We're trying to figure out shipping, but if you're going to order clothing and you're going to order something else that's not clothing, or if you're going to order bath products and not something else, do your orders separate. I know it sounds like a pain in the butt, but shipping will be cheaper if it's not combined. We're working on figuring that out with Shopify, but so far we haven't had a solution, and so we've been refunding people if it doesn't always overcharge, but if it overcharges them because they order clothes and something else, we have to go back in and fix that. So Don't worry, every time we ship an order, we're not gonna ship it separately. We look up your name, and if it can be shipped together, we're gonna combine it anyways. So it just will save you a little bit of money on shipping. And in the meantime, we'll try to fix that.
All right, that's kind of how we're gonna leave it. I might add trim on the end, and I'm gonna get the one with trim out so you can see it.
Let me see that one. So I actually think you need to come back with dark wax and rub it back on the top.
Okay.
I mean, you can do what you want, but I just think that might help.
No, it does need a little more. It's pretty
There's
stark.
a little brush right there.
And I do have a little bit of a mess
There's
in
a little
here.
brush right there, and the dark wax is there, and I think that'll help blend that together. When you're
I'm gonna put it all in the cracks.
Yeah, when you're making a faux product, I feel like it's all about layering all the things. Just keep adding onto it until it looks correct.
You can see that dark wax is making a match, and then when I wipe it back, it'll...
And this hemp oil, even though this is MDF, it is staining that. So
Oh yeah, the MDF will absorb
it is getting nice
stain.
and
It
dark.
just doesn't show wood grain.
Yeah, there's just no wood grain because it's not actually. What is MDF? Do you want to give us a little carpentry lesson?
Medium density fiberboard.
And where does the fiber come from?
It's just sawdust and glue.
So it is. So it was wood.
Yeah, it is wood.
It's wood. It's wood sawdust that had a dream about becoming something useful. I like it when they do that because it reuses something that would go to waste. Oh, Rainbow 505 got her owl. Yay, I watched that being shipped. We have been using new practices right now with COVID. The shipping companies are super overwhelmed, and we've had some things get injured in transit, so we are constantly trying new things to make sure that people get their products alive. And so far, we've had great success with some of the new things we've been implementing and training our employees on. And Caitlin's really good about taking care of everybody. Okay, Barbara says, wish I could thrift. Jana says sawdust and glue had a baby. We use sawdust and glue as putty, like if we have to fill holes.
I make my own wood filler with it.
Yeah. Sorry, this takes a little bit to get in all these nooks and crannies. If I had the French round.
I like how your brush technique is really good on that.
This?
You're like,
Yeah, like I should be using a French round, but I don't have one clean, so. You know, I always say there's a brush for every project, or you make one brush do all the projects. And this is a synthetic DIY paintbrush, so it takes a little bit of abuse.
it can handle it.
It can handle the abuse. It can handle it. All right, Jamie, can you order those t-shirts in other colors in the future, like red? Yes, so if you like there's a t-shirt we carry that we don't have a color you want, let us know, and I can order it. And I can even invoice you, so that way you for sure get it when they come in, because sometimes they sell out fast. And if my wholesaler carries it, I'm happy to do it. Also, if I don't have your size, like if you need a larger size, I will go to my manufacturer if there's something you're looking for and see if they do carry it in different sizes. Sometimes they don't, but I'm still learning this whole textile clothing business, and so I'm always asking, and there's never hurts to ask if they carry something a different size. I generally can't just order one item, I have to order a run, but I'm happy to do it because I'll just put it on the website and sell it to other people. Mostly the reason why I started selling clothes is because I sometimes can't find the things I want, and I get really annoyed when I can't get what I want. How's that?
Yes.
Yes. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to start finding the things I can't find, and then I'll start selling them to all my friends.
Well, so we had someone that carried kind of boutique style clothing, like
She went
Jamie's
out of
been
business.
doing. And I think she just got tired of
She
doing
got
it.
overwhelmed
She
and
had
too
a new
busy.
baby, and she was just like, nah, not right now. And so she stopped. And so for like 1.5 years, 2 years, Jamie hasn't been able to get a lot of the clothing she loves. She's just been kind of wearing t-shirts.
Yeah. Which I love t-shirts, obviously.
I love t-shirts. It's all I wear if you haven't noticed. Like I have one button-up shirt that's not white.
He wears it to fancy occasion.
I wear a white shirt on Sundays, and
MDF, much better than old particle board. Oh yes. People always sometimes
Oh,
think
that old
MDF is
chipboard.
garbage. So this is where I'm at right now. Oops, there goes the brush. I'm getting there with this one. And the nice thing too about using the ink is it doesn't smear the way paint would when I put the hemp oil over it. I just feel like the properties are a little different. So that's bonus there. And ink will give you more crisp lines than paint. Because I get asked, like, if I stamp with paint, what's the difference? Ink, if you don't shift when you put it on, you get more crisp lines. Paint, especially if you use DIY paint, is going to give you more texture.
All right, now we're getting that good crusty look. You know, so you saw the
Let me
dark
see.
wax went right over that oil, that hemp oil.
Oh, I like it.
Let me show you close.
I think we might also add some like white wax to it too.
Well, you do what you want. I'm moving on.
You're moving on. Okay. Yeah, after we get done with graduation, I'm going to come back here and play and get ready for our Stay at Home Shopping Network tomorrow. I'm starting today because last week I put stuff on the wrong website, hit myself in the face with a corbel. Our palette has already arrived, so I am prepping today because I am not going to hit myself in the face with a corbel 2 weeks in a row. That is a life goal right there. I even got like a slight bruise by my eye. It's like, good job, Jami. I actually re-watched that live, Zeb, and it was kind of funny. I laughed at myself. It wasn't necessarily funny at the time. Can we beat the detail on the shopping network? Okay, so we are going to do the Home Shopping Network on Facebook at 4 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow on our Jami Ray Vintage Facebook page. I may edit it down and put it on YouTube, or we may stream it again live on YouTube. We haven't decided, but we are trying to move it off of YouTube because YouTube is penalizing us for having so many live videos, and so we've got to create more edited content. So this week we might still do it on both like we did last week, but if you for sure want to catch it, go to Facebook, and we will try. I know that there's people on YouTube that don't have Facebook, and that's why if we have time, if we don't stream it live on YouTube, we'll try to condense an edited version because we obviously want to take care of all of our people, no matter where they follow us. So we are working on that. But 4 o'clock tomorrow, definitely on Facebook we'll be live, possibly on YouTube again. We just got to get all of our crap together.
And the right website.
And the right website. Mariah was talking to me last night. She's like, oh my gosh, if you do that again, I'm going to strangle you, because she was toggling between Facebook, YouTube, and 2 websites to get you guys the links. Everybody did wind up getting their stuff. I paid the penance. Everything that was ordered on the wrong website, I shipped myself, so I didn't confuse the people that ship our paint, because it's not something they normally ship. I did that first, so that way nothing got missed.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just dry brushing some DIY and beadboard right over everything, because I've got this trim on there and there is some white on this trim. So I'm just gonna try to mimic that white chippiness a little
Where is this trim
bit.
from?
That's from the soffit on the farmhouse.
Oh, okay.
I cut it off when I
Nice.
went in that place where I had to put that new addition wall.
So we are going to see how this is framed. All of these will get framed as well to give it a little bit more of a decorative nature. So off camera, so he's not stapling on camera. All these are going to get a frame. Maybe not all salvage wood. Some of them.
I haven't cut the wood out for them.
Yeah.
I only had time to cut wood out for one this morning, and I was like, I gotta go put those banners
That gives
up.
them the general idea of what they can expect these to
Yeah.
look like. Trim really takes it over the top. I think so too. And it makes them look more decorative. Like, people could use these, I guess, if they primed them, but most people are going to use these as decor.
Yeah, I think it would be functional.
All right, so I
actually.
don't need to do the edge on these then.
Yeah, I did the edge on mine, but we're
I
gonna
realize
trim
now
them.
that we're going to trim them. Yeah, that looks like 1,000 times better. A little bit more work, but sometimes it's worth it to get the extra look that you want. Okay.
And so I just used the sandy blonde brush, so my
Oh,
white
shoot.
is a little dingy. It's
Can you
not.
pass me a rag?
It's
I'm
not
trying not
quite
to get
as
dirty
much.
hands before we go to Harrington's graduation, but that's
That's not gonna happen.
a moot point.
So we get done here at 11. By the time I get done uploading the video, it'll be time to go, and we
Yeah,
still
I'm
gotta
gonna
go
go
pick
grab
up
the
my
kids.
suit from the cleaners
Oh, that's right. So you stay here and do that. I will go.
that
get your
we've been
suit
forgetting for
and
weeks
the
and
kids.
weeks.
Yeah, I'll go get the suit and the kids. I should have grabbed that this morning. Dang it, I forgot when I went. I left my wallet at the dollar store last night. I know you're shocked that I forgot something somewhere, but I did. And they're so sweet. She called Chase last night and told him to put a hold on my cards because I left my wallet. And she waited for 40 minutes. The Dollar Tree here in Lehi. Because Lehi, we know Chase is busy because we called them last night and they actually hung up on us after an hour. So I'm gonna put together a little gift basket and shrink wrap it, because that's my new favorite thing, and drop it off to him.
Okay, so that's kind of looking like a mess, you know. not full coverage. I'm gonna oil wax the whole thing, and
This is
then,
the
or
restoration
not oil
hardware
wax,
finish.
I'm gonna hemp oil with the milk paint in it, the lantern milk paint.
So this is our faux restoration hardware finish. Somebody had asked about that. It's what we use when we want it to look
Yeah.
awesome like the restoration hardware. Okay,
Where's all
this
the
is
brushes
getting there,
in
but
there?
not quite. Don't worry, it's gonna get more awesome. I'm just pulling off all this excess oil wax. Okay, for just a second, I missed a few spots.
Yep.
It's like you get to this, you flip it around, and then you see all the things that the people on the camera can see, but I don't see. And it doesn't take the stain the same way.
No, the MDF soaks that oil up.
Yeah. All right, you can have that. Okay. Don't you love nice people? I do love nice people. I have to say, Lehi is a very nice place to be. We have lots of.
We have really. I have not had a run-in Lehi with someone that wasn't honest at like a store for any reason. Like it's just great.
Yeah, we love that. And they were so sweet. They weren't even open this morning, but I saw they were loading up in the back, so they had a conveyor belt going. And she's like, oh, I know who you are, because she found my driver's license. And I was like, if you found anything in my wallet, you're lucky. I mean, I never have cash in there, so it's like I could replace all the cards, but the wallet itself is from Coach, and it's a wristlet, and I got it for free last year. I stood in line with a friend and got a Mother's Day box, and it was in there. And I'm not gonna go buy a new fancy wallet, so I was like, oh, I hope I get that back. It's like a one-time thing for me.
Well, plus all the time it takes to like go get a new driver's license.
I carry, mother of teenagers carries no cash. I only have cards, and those can be replaced and reordered, but the time it takes to do that and get a new driver's license, and there's like receipts in there, you gotta like fish through. Somebody would really have to want to find stuff because there's like 452 receipts. All right, do you have the white wax out?
Yes.
Do we have a
Yes.
brush that's available? Okay, can you?
Although we got to wrap it up on time today. We got about 4
Oh yeah,
minutes.
so we have 5 minutes because it's 10:59. I'm gonna finish this up so you guys can see the white wax over the hemp oil. Can you?
Oh, you need that open?
Yeah. So we'll finish up these two and we'll show them to you.
Maybe.
If you guys are interested in purchasing these are going to be at JamiRayVintageHome.com. Starting tomorrow, we'll get them up for our live video that again we're going to do at 4 o'clock Mountain Time.
Oh, that's clear.
Oh, that's clear. On Facebook, possibly
Here's
YouTube,
the white.
but for sure Facebook. And then if you don't catch the live, you can always just go to the website. Like if you don't have time to watch the live video, just know that new stuff comes up on Thursdays. So, little pro tip there. Oh, I
I'm
wish
reaching in front of you.
This is where I need a smaller brush. Is there one that's? No, that one's too big for this application. All right, I got it. So all I'm doing is just kind of putting this white down here so it ties the white stamp in with this wood part and kind of joins the look together so it's not quite so disjointed. I may not get the whole thing finished, but I'll get this corner done so you guys can see it.
If you want to do your own version of these, don't be scared. Go get your jigsaw out. If you don't have a jigsaw, $30, $40, you can find an inexpensive one or a used one. And just start cutting shapes out of wood. It's a lot of fun, and it's
And
pretty
use the
simple
shapes,
saw
too.
to use.
Like, make yourself some corbels. We've got videos showing how to do it. Like, yes, we sell them complete because we realize not everybody wants to make them. But if you're a DIYer, make your own corbels, save the scraps, and now you've got a way to make money off of not just the corbels, but the scraps. And you're saving it from the dump. Ain't nobody got time to go to the dump right now. Some dumps aren't even open.
Ours has a line like backed up
And they're
forever.
like one trailer per household. So if you got spring cleaning going on, life gets real. With thrift stores not open, I actually have a bunch of clothes sitting on the back porch. My friend's daughter is collecting clothes for a fundraiser for her drill team, and she's gonna come pick them up. So I told all my friends, bring your clothes that you can't drop off. Although I heard that DI is now taking
They're
pickups.
accepting donations again.
So that tells me.
So hopefully that means they're going to open soon.
Yeah, they will be opening soon. I know that they'll be very cautious and watch numbers before they open. And if they're anything like Savers, they're going to be rock stars with the COVID policy because Savers was awesome last week. I'm really impressed with how they handled that. Okay, this is turning out cool. I think this might need a little bit more zhuzhing, so I might come back with some dark wax or something. on this over the top of the white wax, but I'm
But
loving
it
this.
does, now that you put the oil on there, it does look a lot like wood.
All right, so this right here, this is the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and in a little bit probably come back with some dark inside to kind of blend the two, and I did bring the white wax over the top of this so that way it looks more like wood. And then I'm gonna show you the one that I did earlier that's all wood that Zeb has not framed out yet. So there's also this look. This is probably gonna get a little bit of white wax too. Maybe a little bit of white decrepit dust, because the decrepit dust goes down into the nooks and crannies.
Oh, you did the back of that one too.
Yeah, I did. I will finish all the backs of these. And here's this one that Zeb did. And these are going to be made to hang on the wall. And we might go ahead and cut out some of the inserts that go in them, even though Zeb doesn't normally do that, so we can finish those off, because I think that'll make them look.
They may be in the garage, just kicked up underneath
Yeah.
the workbench or
So
something.
these may look a little different when you see them. We'll add some more detail, and we'll show you this faux restoration hardware finish since Zeb's done. And again, they're all going to get framed out so they look like proper wall art.
They'll be framed out like this one here.
And I'm gonna go cry my eyes out when my kid walks in an hour. So, wish me luck. 20
Yeah.
years ago, Zeb and I were graduating from high school, and I was just 17. And now my baby, well, my oldest, is 17. He'll be 18 this summer, and he's graduating.
All right.
There it is. There's the restoration hardware finish. Isn't that cool? Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you're hitting up JamiRayVintage.com for the paint and products we use, and JamiRayVintageHome.com is where you can find our home decor. And we will see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock Mountain Time in the afternoon. We're going to do our stay-at-home shopping network for sure on Facebook, possibly on YouTube. And if we don't go live on YouTube, then Zeb will edit it and drop that video on YouTube for you. We love you all, and thanks for your support. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more.
DIY.
And junk.
And junk turned into not junk.
It's always gonna have junk. Junk's my jam. Junk's my jam. And we're dancing.